And so the dehumanization process continues into 2020. It is now October, and we're being told that art is not the way forward, that all us artists must put down our brushes, put down our pens, stop singing, stop dancing, stop performing, and instead go and find a different job by retraining. It's as if the arts are not important anymore. And this is why I'm definitely sure now that this is all a satanic attack. Because Satan doesn't want us having art. How dare we appreciate God through our singing at the churches, or singing about our lives, or singing in any way of a performance, which is a great way to entertain each other. You know, entertainment is not the way forward. The devil doesn't want us writing about anything godly, anything divine, anything religious, or even just anything about ourselves, really. How dare we think that we can write books that could influence other people, books that entertain, books that make one think, books that could possibly predict the future. My own books, some are about people from the past, some are about what the future could possibly fall into. And without these kinds of writings, not saying mine only, but other writers as well, how do people learn? How do people learn about the past? We need our history books, so we need writers to write that. And we need our novels to keep us entertained, because we all like to escape into another world, because this one's so fantastic to live in at the moment. We need books to read in, and we need art to look at, though most people do look at their phones. And I do think that if, you know, maybe we need to or buy a piece of art for when our phones stop working. But art is something to look at, to make you think, to make you express yourself. Or, well, that's the artist expressing themselves, but it might get the viewer to go and express themselves in a new way. Art is full of colour, full of life, full of, well, not necessarily colour and life. It could be dull and dark and full of the doldrums. But this is what art is. It's an expression, isn't it, of how people feel. And it's like taking away the art means that we're not allowed to express ourselves. And expressing ourselves is one of the most fantastic things that human beings can do. Whether it's laughing at something, crying at something, shouting at something, which I'm really close to doing in this 2020, having to really hold myself back. But then again, that is part of the devil or Satan's regime, isn't it, to make us all really angry, and then we might give up on God, because if everything's going wrong we think there's no God to help us. And we've got to remember, through all this, God has given us free will, and with that free will we're allowed to decide what we want to do. No God's going to come and save us, we have to save ourselves. And the devil's very well aware of this, which is why he can sneak into our minds and manipulate and, you know, try and stop us doing what, in my view, is right. Being able to express ourselves through art. But the devil's managed to get into the government's minds of, no more art! We must stop the actors working by doing a pandemic. So at the moment, the government's telling everybody that's an artist, an actor, a drawer, a writer, whatever, singer, la la la, that, you know, should go and retrain. Go and become an office worker, or into cyber. I saw that one. That was quite interesting. Get into the old cybernetics, or get into the digital world. We'll get in, trained up, ready for the AI overall taking over. Sorry, I muffed that up. But, you know, AI is coming. And what a great way for the devil to travel through the electrical currents that computer and circuitry and artificial intelligence can travel through. The devil doesn't seem able to walk this planet in physical form, but he can travel currents. So I'm pretty sure he's travelling through the computer currents, and all the demons and demonology can do that. Which is why they want to get everybody on their computers and on their phones. It's a distraction to make us all turn into sheep. What we really need to do is to wake up and find God. And then when we've found God within ourselves, or wherever we want to find God, Because God is out there, the divine. I'm not talking about an old man in a cloud. I'm talking about the divine, actual source of all, and it is reachable. It might not come down and affect us because it's given us, like I said, free will. So it's not going to come and help us. We have to go to the divine. And the devil's mission is to distract us from the divine, to pull us away from the divine. And this is what's happening. I'd like to think instead that people were actually going and finding God during all this pandemic, or plandemic as I like to call it, which I know I've been commented on by other people. They don't like me saying that. But it just all seems so unreal what's happening. It's like we're in some kind of bad B movie. And we need our films to entertain us. We need our films, again, to express ourselves and to see different ways of being able to express oneself. And different stories that other people go through. Though I wonder if the movie industry will stop. I used to think that was quite satanically run, but maybe... Anyway, that's another story. It is October 2020, and the dehumanization process continues. Here in England, we are being told today by our government that maybe artists should retrain in other jobs because there might not be any arts to work for. It's as though they want to stop the artists painting their wonderful pictures, or stop the writers writing their fantastic books, or stop the dancers entertaining us with their magnificent dance forms, and to stop the actors to expressing, well, how life can be, expressing themselves, what at the parts they're playing. It's really quite weird, isn't it, that the arts are being attacked. They are being attacked. The 2020 dehumanisation process is continuing. It is October. This is London. And we've been told today by our government that artists like myself must perhaps retrain for the more mundane jobs. Art is a job. Many people make their money or their living from their art. And I suppose there isn't going to be many people with normal day jobs anymore to be able to buy our art or buy our books or go to the theatre. I suppose what the government's concerned about is that all the theatres are closed and there's all these jobbing actors and then there's all the people that work behind the scenes, and it's just going to make millions of us unemployed because we cannot do our artistic jobs. To me, this is all very satanic. It's like they're telling us that arts are not proper jobs because, well, they're just not seen as that, are they? But also, with most art forms, we're having to work together or having to have audiences, which means that there's people coming together and they're trying their real hardest to make sure that people do not sit together, do not stand together. We must all wear our masks. Oh, it drives me nuts. I could go on about masks as I have in previous films, but this one is about the arts. It's something I've been concerned about for many years, actually. I've been seeing how lack of funding's been going into the arts, and it's as if they're really trying to bring that down anyway. But maybe the people that are doing this, if they're not possessed by the devil, just are too stupid to realise how important the arts is. We need the arts to help express ourselves. We need the arts to, obviously it is an entertainment as well. I mean, it's good for the people to be able to go and watch a good movie. I have my criticisms about how movies are made and that most of them are just to put people to sleep. But, or to brainwash them. That's what I meant, is to brainwash them. Never ever give up on your art, whatever it is, and never ever give up on God, whoever, whatever that is. Just don't give up, because then the dark side has won.